Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Zil, and today we have a bit of a special video. We interviewed a guy called Seth Shadows. He's a cheat dev, and he works in RMT mostly, including EFT. During that interview, he revealed a few interesting things that I think are worth mentioning here. So I'm just going to show you the whole conversation. I mean, I made a few cuts when we were AFK, but it's mostly everything. And it was pretty good. I mean, it was also somehow reassuring, but it was definitely interesting. So if you're curious about that underworld or how everything works, the communities of cheating, of cheat devs, it's almost like a mafia war sometimes. So it was pretty interesting. I think when you look at the future of gaming and EFT in general, it's not too bad, but it's also, it's always going to be there. And I mean, we covered a lot of subjects, and it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. There's not going to be any fancy edits though, because it's a really long video, and so there's not going to be any panels or extra information on the screen. So you're free to minimize this. It's just going to be my stupid face cam and his voice, and that's it. Now, every single one among you guys are going to have the same question: is how reliable is this? And to be honest, it's not really. But I wouldn't share it to you if I believed it wasn't reliable. To some degree. So yes, I talked to a guy. Yes, I don't know him, and he hasn't, shown me any proof of what he claimed. But on the other end, he knew what he was talking about. From the way he answered, you could tell he was, he knows. He's probably definitely a cheater, and most certainly a dev. And he showed me his website, but he told me I was not allowed to share the name. So for just to avoid promotion, and I think that actually strengthens his genuinity. I don't even know how to say this in English, but yeah, like he doesn't want any fame. He's not looking for me to promote him at all. I think that proves some kind of that's some kind of proof that he's genuine, and he has no reason to lie, because whether he was lying or not, it doesn't change anything. I'm not going to make 1 million views on this. I'm probably not even going to make 1,000, to be honest. So I think it was real. I believed everything he said, and we talked a bit off the record before and after the video. And yeah, I really think it's a real deal. So, enjoy.
I mean, you are from France, and I am from Australia, so.
Not from France. I'm not from France. I'm from Belgium.
Oh,
don't insult me with France.
Why did someone tell me you were a French streamer, a French YouTuber?
Well, I mean, I speak French, so that's the confusion usually. But no, I'm from Belgium. I don't want to take too much of your time, so let's.
That's fine. I'm not really doing anything.
All right. So basically, I'm gonna ask questions, and hopefully these questions are gonna raise like stories, or we're just gonna start a conversation. And then when we're done with that, then we go just to the next question. I have 2 sets of questions. Some are for cheaters, like actual players, and others for developers. And I believe you are both of those. So
I am. As I said when we were talking privately, a lot of your developer questions, there's a good chance that I won't be answering a very large portion of them.
Yeah, but I'll ask them, and then you just say no. And if you say no to them all, then you say no to them all. That's fine.
I could maybe give you very vague, dumbed down, sort of ideas of what we do. Beyond that, I can't give away anything more than that.
Yeah, I understand. And also, for the sake of the recording, I will ask you stuff that I already know because we talked privately, but I have to ask it again for the recording. So
yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, don't worry if it seems like it's repetitive.
That's fine.
Let's start with talking about you a little as a person, and then we'll start talking about your work. Can you tell me a bit about who you are? So what should I call you? And age, work, maybe stuff like that. What you are willing to share?
Well, I have no problems with sharing my name. I won't share my full name for a YouTube video, but
obviously.
My real name is Seth. Okay. My first name. My name that I'm known by throughout different communities is Seth Shadows. Age, I'm 21 years of age. And as for my occupation, the hacking and creating of cheats and things of that nature isn't actually my job. I do actually work for a company creating creating security software.
Okay, so you work in the field of software and IT. You're not
Yes.
like okay, that's interesting. So you just for out of curiosity, did your job leave you to cheat, or making cheats made you choose that job?
The cheating and things came, like, as I have said to you in our personal DMs. I've been doing the cheating thing for about 11 plus years.
Okay.
The developing thing was mainly because obviously I've been around dealing with code and obviously looking into cracking security systems such as BattleEye and plenty of anti-cheats, valves, fucking VAC, which obviously isn't anything to write home about cracking, but just things along those natures, just general bypasses, pen testing on websites, things like that. Just the general field of doing that for cheating did open up pathways into actual real life, application.
Okay. That's interesting. Now, are you in the context of hacks and cheating, not your job? Are you making money through that? Real
Both
life money.
yes, both yes and no.
Could you
So
elaborate?
for the cheats that we develop, no, we're not making money off of that. There is the potential to make money off of it. However, we do not. We create our cheats for personal private use and more for lack of a better word, infamy within the community of cheating. See, two of the people that work with me particularly are very well known within the circuit for the cheats that they create and the methods they use to bypass and things like that. I'm sort of, obviously, I don't really do as much as they do. I don't go around talking to as much people as they do, but yeah, they are much more known. So the cheats we create, no, we don't sell them. They are for our personal use, but it's more just the sort of prestige of being able to create something that other people aren't really able to create.
Okay, so it's a challenge.
The money's, yeah, it is the challenge. It is showing that we are able to do something that others aren't.
Okay.
That's why we create the cheats. But as for money, yes, we do. We do make money. We do have a website where we sell items. Excuse me, pardon me. Such as in-game currency for different games, RuneScape, Escape from Tarkov, Fallout 76, Temtem, Wolson, a lot of different things.
Okay.
So we do trade in-game currencies for real-life currency. We also do trade in code for certain things. We do trade that for cash as sort of a coder for hire.
Okay, so you mean like specifically for hacks, like, oh, fix my hack, I'm getting banned, or just in general?
It can be a lot of different things. See, the other two that I work with, and I'm not going to say their names because I don't know if they want.
Oh, you can just invent a
They
name.
know that I am a part of this interview. They don't know if they are going to. If they want, I don't know if they want their names.
You can call them A and B. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So A and B, their interactions are more with the. So are mine as well, but theirs are more with the deeper side of cheating and things like that. I interact more with the not so much cheating side. I deal with like server owners, server moderators, administrators, things like that. So I will be talking to people who run a server for a specific game, or I'll be talking to people who are hosting websites, and I will create, certain things for them. Whereas A and B, they'll be speaking with cheat developers and things like that, and they'll be talking about their bypass methods and things like that. Also talking about what things to call to get certain comebacks that allow them to implement things into their cheats.
All right. So
which I also do that myself. However, A and B are more prominent in that area, whereas I'm more prominent in the sort of, I guess, again, for lack of a better word, the more legitimate area.
Yeah. Okay. So if I had to put it very abruptly and simply put, you're doing the front end of the, let's call it a business, even, and they're doing the actual black hat work, for lack of a better word. Also,
it is mixed, because I also do what they do as well. However, I do also to dabble on the other side, or prominent do the majority of what I do is in the other side, but I also do what they do as well.
So do you, I'm not saying you should tell me, but do you know the methods they use and how the software works, or is it really just these two?
Yes.
Okay.
I do know how it all works and things like that. I've had a part in all of it. As for how it works and stuff, as I've said, I can't tell you any of that sort of thing.
Obviously.
The only thing I could really, the only way that I could put it to dumb it down in a way that it wouldn't compromise us is that there is a certain, we have a method that could easily be patched, but isn't, for reasons that the developers of EFT it's hard to
take your time,
hard to think of a way to explain it.
And don't worry, like I told you, you can always retract anything you say.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think.
Not fuck up.
Yeah, because obviously, if I give any information away, it could very easily lead to
I know.
lead to our method being detected, and that's.
Yeah. But I think what you're trying to say is currently your thing is working out of luck because they're not fixing it.
Well, it's not so much luck. It's we have an understanding of Battle Eye that maybe a lot of, not maybe, but for a fact that a lot of people do not. And we know there is a method that can be used to bypass
whole thing pretty much.
Yeah, to bypass everything that will never be patched unless they were directly told about it. So
yeah, okay.
That's
so basically
there's not much more.
Yeah, so there's some kind of backdoor that they're not going to look because it's not looking like one, pretty much.
Not so much that it's something that they know is there, and they know for what it is, but they also use for things, so they themselves can't directly patch it out.
Okay. All right. I see. It's interesting. I'm going to come back to a subject we skimmed over like a minute ago. You talked about real money transactions, and it's a big subject in the EFT community and probably in many other games. Yep. Do you so you told me you sold items and currency. Just out of curiosity, could you tell me what usually people buy and at what cost, whether it's currency or items? Even though I could look at the website probably, but
it is different based on country, regions, things like that. We have a very, very large portion of the Chinese community will pay for things such as currency. In EFT, for instance, we have a large amount of Chinese customers that will pay for rubles and euros and dollars for the EFT currency.
Okay.
How much we sell it for? I believe. Let me just double check. Our ruble prices at the moment for 1 million rubles is $1.50. For 1 million rubles, $1.50 for 10,000 euros, and $1.50 for 10,000 dollars.
Yeah. Okay, that's That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the method, and again, this obviously a conversation between yourself and me, but we have a method that we use where, for us, it's literally 2 seconds to
Okay.
create the currency, go into a raid, give it to the person, escort them out, and done.
Okay. Okay, lots of questions are raising from this.
Okay.
Let's dial back a little. You talked about Chinese customers. Do you have
Yes.
any other like regions you'd say, oh, like this is very like a lot of people in NA or very little people, for example, in NA? Or do you see any other pattern, or is it really just lots of Chinese and then the rest seems normal?
It's a bit here and there because the thing is, we've built we have a lot of, which would lead into a whole different thing, but the people that we have working for us and things like that, we've built quite a reputation within the Chinese market and a lot of the Asian markets, through other adventures that happened a long time ago. So
Okay.
mainly all of our stuff, our major traffic is through Chinese and Japanese, Korean, all Asian markets. It's the majority of our work. It's the majority of our intake is because we've been prominent within that sort of area. Again, me being Australian, two of the A and B are both New Zealand. Another one, a fourth member of our group is he's lives in Australia as well. So we interact with Asia Pacific and things like that because
Proximity.
it's close to us, so it's
Yeah.
easier. Lag and things isn't something we worry about. Just small things. We do have American customers. We have a lot of American customers. We do have some European customers, not as much as as we do, say, Chinese or American, but we do have European countries that do purchase off of us.
You talked about Chinese customers. What about Chinese competition?
Chinese competition, we don't really have that much of.
Okay.
The competition is really non-existent because obviously the laws and things in regards to cheating and all that sort of stuff in China is
It's crazy, right? You can actually go to prison
very very, very strict and has serious repercussions. Like there's a girl who works for us. She's Chinese, and she obviously is what she put us into the Chinese market very, very heavily. She obviously runs a lot of risk, and there has been some close calls in the past. But yeah, China's definitely not the place to mess around with. So you don't get a whole lot of developers coming out of there because you still do. You just they're more on the down low, very private as opposed to public.
Okay.
Things of that nature.
And so you'd say the majority of the cheaters in China are more users than developers. That's
Oh yes, 100%.
and
yeah, mainly you would catch the majority. I would say are more users than developers. Yes.
and do you think, and if so, why? Do you think that the cheating is much bigger in China than anywhere else in the world? Do you think that they have more cheaters there than, say, in Australia or NA or Europe? Or is it just that we know about them?
It's so very, very like all over the place. See, in Australia, for instance, there are some prominent Twitch streamers in EFT who have direct lines, direct connections to Nikita and things like that. So cheating in Australia is very risky because if you kill a Twitch streamer very blatantly, there's the occasional Twitch streamer that could just send
Ban
a
you, yeah.
message and your account's gone. And, so that's annoying because that means you got to go through the process of getting another account and all that, which, whatever, but it's, an extra hour of your day that you could have been spent doing something else. So what we do is we'll go to Chinese servers, or we'll go to American servers, or Europeans. So mostly do it is the Chinese area, because in Chinese servers they don't really report people. They don't, you don't encounter as many cheaters, which is odd.
Yeah.
The only way that I can think that is that China, much like us going to them to have less reports when we're, testing and things like that, they probably go elsewhere to do their thing.
Okay. Because I think the few times I've been killed by a cheater in EFT specifically, or even in other games, they had a name that looked Chinese, and I was like, oh, okay, most cheaters are Chinese, but I was wondering if other cheaters were just hiding it better or something. And yeah, it seems like every time I hear someone talk about it, because I've interviewed by text, not by voice, another cheat dev, and he told me that China and Russia are big on cheaters, but I mean, so why specifically them? I guess the rest of the world must be, but just maybe they're better at hiding it. I don't know.
No, the reason they're so much bigger is obviously gaming in Asian countries is immense. It is culture there. It is what they're all about there. There's
it's their football.
It is their, everything is all about gaming there. So, having cheaters and things like that is just sort of expected. As for Russia, I personally, I don't know. I couldn't give you a fucking response as to why there's so many cheaters in Russia and things, but yeah.
You said earlier that when you had to sell 1 million rubles, you'd just make it in a second. Could you elaborate on making it in a second, or do you not want to?
I could give you an idea. I can't tell you, again, specifically how we do it.
Okay.
We do have a method that we use where we are able to sort of interact with Tarkov's servers, and we're able to change what our stash has in it and have the server accept that as what it is, as opposed to other methods where you might, for instance, something as simple as cheat engine, where you might change an interval on your end. However, the server will pick it, will know that that's not what it is on their end.
Yeah.
However, we are able, through our method, to have the server pretty much provide us with the information that comes out on our end.
So you're not telling the server, I have this. You're telling the server, oh, tell me that I have this, pretty much. If I'm understanding correctly.
Not even that. The server is telling us what we have.
Okay.
We are telling the server to tell us what we have.
Okay. And so you're not even going in raid to make money?
No. We can quite literally do it from outside of raid. Okay.
So you only go in raid either for your own entertainment or to escort someone out and proceed to a transaction?
Yes.
Okay. You talked also, we're going to talk about escorting and stuff like that a bit later. I'm actually going to write it down. But you talked about your group and, people working with us, for us. How many of you are there in your group specifically?
Within the central group?
It's either very big or very small when you start counting in your head.
No, you see, I am terrible with this sort of thing. It
can be rough,
because if I say a random number and then I forget and then it's wrong.
It can be an estimate. Like, is it between 5 and 10 or between 10 and 50?
Within the inside circle, I'd say 5 to 6.
Oh, okay.
within
Okay,
the
so it's
inside
really small.
circle.
And
Within
what?
the extended group,
Yeah.
probably would be pushing on 12.
It's quite small.
Within the actual, with people that we interact with who aren't part of our group, but who work with us in certain fields, it could be anywhere in 25 to 30.
Okay, and
if not more.
Okay.
So,
and if you had to make an estimate, and I know it's a shitty question because you have no way of making a good estimate there, but if you had to, on how many developers of cheats and people selling and people actually making a business out of this, kind of like you, would you say there's how many of them? Not persons, but even
You
like
mean
groups or something.
across the board?
Yeah, so you count as one, you and your, 20 people, you're one.
That's an uncountable, uncountable number.
Yeah, I would assume so. So how many cells?
How many cells? That is uncountable.
Is it because
couldn't give you.
Is it because you don't know, or because it's stupidly big?
It's stupidly big. You gotta understand, like our group, like our actual internal, like the insider circle and the major part of our group, not the external people that assist us. We're not a large group.
Yeah.
There are groups that are much larger. There are groups that are much broader. You can't count how many groups there are. You see, for instance, in my private Discord, we have 9 developer heads. Okay, these are developers of cheats that are not associated with us, as in they're not working for us or anything like that. These are just heads of development that we personally have interacted with. These people can span from, operations that are small to much, much larger. And that's only 9. And these are only 9 that we interact with. That cover.
It's your network, yeah.
Yeah, that's just people that we network with. But we have people in Russia, people in Europe, people in America. There is a broad spectrum.
Okay,
and
so
it's uncountable how many people there actually are.
That's hard to hear, man. As a legit player, it feels bad.
Yeah. Well, look, the way that I could always put it, if for any legitimate person that's ever asked, is that no matter what a developer does, you'll never be able to eradicate 100% of the cheaters.
Yeah, but okay, now just a side question: how fucked are we?
In regards to
just Tarkov.
What?
Tarkov and cheating. Like, how do you think they stand a chance in that fight, the devs, or is it just they're trying their best?
It depends on a lot of different things. It depends how intrusive Battle Eye is willing to go to prevent their cheating. There are developers of a lot of different things who have securities or who have anti-cheats that are extremely intrusive.
Yeah, like the Ring Zero thing with Valorant, right? I mean, Vanguard.
Yeah. So not a lot of people actually know about that, but yes, Vanguard is extremely intrusive.
But you'd say not a lot of people know that? Sorry, I interrupted you, but it's
no, that's fine. No, well, I guess your more common people probably don't know about it. If you're clued into it, then yes, you probably do know about it. The people who aren't so clued in probably don't realize the true extent of how intrusive the Valorant, or not specifically Valorant, but Riot's anti-cheat and Vanguard and things like that actually is.
And that's a good thing, right? As a white hat perspective. I mean,
as in it's good how intrusive it is.
For the sake of protection. I mean, I guess it gets philosophical.
For the sake of one's protection, I guess, within gaming. However, we're talking a security system that would literally ban someone for opening up a website of cheating. We're talking about I could download a program, and this anti-cheat would download a copy of that program onto a main server within that game. Just that anti-cheat.
Just to check if it's legit or not. Just to investigate, they would do that.
Yes, yes, they would do that.
As now because you're a security engineer, right?
Yes.
So if you think about Valorant's anti-cheat, what do you think about that as a security engineer, not as a cheat dev or a cheater?
Are you asking me an ethical stance? Are you asking me
both, like on a technical level, on a
if we're talking on the absolute pure, if I had no ethical standing on it, nothing, if I had to think of it simply as what it is, it is impressive. It is truly impressive how truly powerful it is. It is impressive. If I were talking from an ethical standard, it's impressive. However, it encroaches on so many different things that if people truly understood, they might not be so, it might not be their first point of call, their first port of call when it comes to, but we don't have to worry about cheaters because this anti-cheat is just.
Yeah, it's
because it isn't just it is fucking up cheaters, but it's also grabbing your information as well. Which look, a developer can easily turn around and say this information will not be used for anything but their game, things like that. However, Facebook for however many years has also said that it will not use your data to do
and they did.
such and such, and they did.
Yeah,
a game developer doesn't have as much responsibility as Facebook. So if something as large as Facebook's willing to fuck you over, a game developer, well.
So, and I guess we're diverging a little, but would you say that you'd be able to beat Valorant's anti-cheat? You or A and B?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you looked at it?
Beat in what way? Do you mean are we able to create a cheat for the game? Or are we able to create a cheat that we wouldn't be detected on?
Both. I don't know. Elaborate. I mean, any question is a good question.
Yes, we can very, not easily, but we can create a cheat for it. In fact, I cheated on Valorant upon the game's on day one. Yeah, we actually.
What, really?
Yeah. We were cheating in the beta of the cheat, and we were cheating on day one.
How? Okay, I'm interrupting you again because I'm.
That's fine.
How? Because you didn't know the game, you didn't know the engine, if I'm correct. You didn't know the anti-cheat. You downloaded it and you cracked however months of work. You cracked it in a day. What? How?
Yeah, Is it
because
like I said, I wouldn't put in those sorts of words. I'm definitely not as full of myself as that to say that
I was baiting you.
but in a way, that's technically not incorrect. Like, as I said, I've been doing this for 11 years. A and B, who are older than me, have been doing it for longer. And, we've seen everything there is to see. And we have so many points of call when we go into something new that it doesn't take us as long as it would a normal person or like someone starting straight off the bat.
Okay.
We've encountered all manner of different things.
And they didn't bring anything new? Because
they definitely did. Don't get me wrong. It didn't. It wasn't like we did it in the first hour of the game being dropped. We were able to get into the game within the first day. The actual cheat itself we didn't create until, let's say, about a week after the beta.
Okay.
Oh, not after the beta, but a week into the beta.
Week full time or week with full-time jobs on the side and being your family? And
a week with things on the side.
Yeah. Okay.
For like the way that I see it is, It took us a week. So that is the standard. It is a week. It's not if you sat there and hammered it out, because nobody does that. Nobody
Okay.
sits there and hammers it out.
That's fair enough. Man, I want to keep going that way, but we're getting further from my original questions. But I mean,
It's fine. I'm more, like I said, I've got no issues, man. I told you I'm an insomniac, so I'm more than happy to sit up till whatever
Yeah.
time. I've
All right,
got plenty
we'll
of
do it.
alcohol. I'll sit and drink and prod as far as you like.
All right, I will, because this is crispy, man. I love it. So you would you say it's easier to beat stuff or protect against stuff? Like, would you say it's easier to be you or the guys making the anti-cheat? Not better, but easier.
Us.
Yeah, okay.
Easier to be us by far. You see, the problem is to create something truly impenetrable, you would have to create so many checks, you would have to blacklist so many different things that you could literally, to create something impenetrable, you would sacrifice accuracy. You know, to create something truly impenetrable, you would sacrifice accuracy in the sense that most anti-cheats, if not all anti-cheats, are very, very, very rarely ever wrong. If you're banned because you've been doing something wrong.
Because they put so much effort in not having false positives. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
If you were really to make something impenetrable, you would increase the chances of false positives tenfold.
Okay. All of this keeps raising questions. I'm loving this. Let's try and circle back to EFT. I'm gonna be the adult here and stop myself. Okay, you talked about earlier getting banned in EFT.
Yes.
How frequent is it, and how difficult is it to get new accounts? And how do you get new accounts? You just buy them off the store?
Okay, so acquiring accounts, we have a Chinese guy who is part of our, not inner circle, but the outer circle. I won't again say his name. He provides us with accounts
For free?
for access to our cheat. Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't pay anything. Yeah.
So you are kind of selling the cheat.
Not really, because we also do know this guy from other things.
So you trust him?
And yes, he is a trusted person. We would still probably give him access anyway. But, you know, he's doing this to sort of help us.
Okay. So, yeah, so it's a win-win.
Continue to work. Yeah, it's a win-win. It's not, we're not profiting from the accounts because we're not selling the accounts. We're using the accounts as tests.
Okay.
And that's bad. So we test new things.
On a more technical level, do you know how he's getting the accounts?
It's mainly cracked accounts.
Okay, so he's not spending money for them. I mean, he's not buying them. Okay.
He is, but you know, like $2 for an account. You know, it's not. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that would be easy to detect, no? That someone is, I guess,
that an account is cracked.
Yeah.
It would depends. I couldn't tell you what method the person who initially cracked it. He's not going out and cracking the accounts. He's purchasing cracked accounts and then giving them to us. The people who are cracking the accounts, again, this is something I've gone into myself for different things. There's all kinds of different methods. You could be just brute forcing something as simple as just the account. You know, you could just be brute forcing just the account. Or you could be going as far as the brute force someone's specific email that you know has an EFT account linked to it. So you're brute forcing their email, getting their email details, getting the account details. You're logging into the EFT, you're catching the email before the person who owns the email address catches it, deleting the email, or, you know, things like that. And then you have an account that the owner doesn't even know is compromised until they try to log in however far down the line. But then you come into contact with different things such as, you know, looking at an account. How long has it been since this account's been active? Has it been a day? Has it been a couple of hours? Has it been a month? Oh well, this account's been it hasn't been active for a month. Crack this account, and then sell this account, and there you go.
Yeah, okay. You're opening my eyes to some degree. Now, okay, it's just one of the questions I had. I guess you're playing EFT, right? Or at least you have.
Currently, no, I don't play it currently, but yes, I have.
Okay. Would you be able to estimate, and I know estimates are shitty questions, how many cheaters would be in a match on average? Would you say every match?
No, I definitely wouldn't say every match. It depends. It can vary, again, from region to region.
Okay.
There was a point in time where maybe every second labs run that I would do had another cheater in it.
Okay. How do you know, by the way? Just because
we have a sort of universal thing that we all do where if we see someone that we think is a little bit suspect, we'll look at them through the wall and then lean left and right. So do a wiggle.
Yeah, okay.
And every cheater universally knows that means I can see you through the wall. Can you see me?
Yeah, and then would you fight this guy or would you just let him do his thing and you do yours?
It would vary. We've encountered different... Again, it would vary. We've encountered cheat developers and things like that we don't like. And so we will just squat on them, We'll see that they're cheating, they're doing their thing, they're trying to make money and things like that, and we'll disrupt that. We know that they're doing this so run to try.
It's Mafia Wars. You're disrupting their work by going in game and attacking them, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes, that is correct. Yeah, that is what we are doing. We see someone that we know that they're, for instance, doing a labs run, trying to run and collect all the lead X's and sell them and things like that, and we know they're going to do that, and we can see them speed hacking to get to the lead X, and we shoot them before they could even get to it, which means they don't get it, which means they have to go into another raid, which means they waste time, they don't make as much money, and in the long run, they don't make as much money in the real world. Yeah.
So, you're beating the competition. Okay.
Yeah.
Or at least fighting it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Okay, so I guess security, because you have... But you're not selling, so I don't know if this really applies to you, but I'm still curious. So you have a cheat that works, is not detected. Surely your competition would be jealous of that. Do you have issues with others developers trying to hack your product or trying to get it in some way?
No.
Okay, so you really don't have to protect yourself.
Not even in the slightest. We have absolutely zero security on our cheat.
Okay.
Simply because we do not give it to anyone but as I said at the start, we create the cheats for ourselves. It's for our own personal use. All right. So we don't give the cheat to people that aren't brought in by us.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a tight circle.
I have my own friends outside of all this stuff. They're cheaters, just cheaters, not developers or anything, in different games. They cheat in different games. We play legit on other games. And, if I were to talk to the others, A and B, and I were to say to them, I just want the current build for, say, our Call of Duty mobile hack. I want this so I can give it to them. Then we would give it to them because I know I can trust them. I've known them for years and years and years. I know that they wouldn't try to, breach any sort of thing. They know better than that, and it's all good. But if it's someone we don't know, then we don't give access at all. Even if it's someone we do know, but isn't affiliated with us in the inner circle, we will give them no access.
Okay. More personal questions? No, we'll keep that for later yet. So technically, when you sell for real money, when you sell stuff in game, it's going to be how do you? Let's say I want to have I buy for 5 million rubles. How do you how does it go? What do you tell me? How do you meet the guy? How do you give him the 5 mil? Like, can you walk me through the whole process?
Well, in the beginning, the process was a lot different.
Okay, but then
in the beginning, it was certain websites where you could advertise that you're selling currencies and things like that. And you see these people. We go on certain websites. People see our advert. They contact us, and we add them on something like Discord and talk to them directly. It was more hands-on.
okay.
Now it's more hands-off, but still has hands-on, internals where we'll either log into that person's account if they're comfortable with it and do things, or we will, as I said, we'll do it on one of our accounts, go into game, transfer, or we'll give them, item cases worth fucking however much money they've purchased inside of them, and then we escort them out of the raid.
Oh, is your business legit, by the way, or is it just do you pay taxes for everything? Because you get real world money. How do you handle this? Is it just PayPal account?
I'm not gonna go into that.
Okay. For reference, the other guy I talked to last year, I think, he claimed that it was fully legit. He had a company that was, paying taxes and everything, and that completely, I was baffled with that. I was really
there
surprised.
Are people that definitely there are people that do it and things like that. I do know developers who sell their cheat and they do it 100% legitimate, where they'll pay tax on everything and things like that.
Yeah.
And see, it's a misconception is it's not actually illegal what we do.
Yeah, I know. That's why you can do it. Except in China, you can do it.
Yeah, it breaches the game's terms of service. However, it does not breach any sort of actual law.
Yeah. Is it a lot of money? I'm not even asking for the number, but like, could you live out of your RMT selling, for example, you and your group?
Yeah. Oh, the whole group? No, I wouldn't say you could live off of it.
I mean,
you would be making probably, amongst all of us, you would be making a decent bit of cash, but not. The thing is, it's such a toxic market that you can't rely on it.
Yeah, I guess
you can have 1 year where you make ludicrous amount of money, 1 year where you make absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
So
it's like you're gonna pay your boat, but then that's it. Yeah.
It's definitely far too toxic to rely on. I can say that there was a group that I worked for that is well known in CS:GO, called C Vision. I'm more than happy to say their name because they're not around anymore.
Okay.
A lot of people will know the name if they have ever played. If they are cheaters and they've played CS:GO, they'll know the name. I can confirm that the amount of money that came through that cheat alone was immense. Upwards of 500 to $1 million.
Okay. I'm comparing this conversation with the other one I had last year. The guy claimed, to give you an idea of what he claimed, would make about I think it was 200K a month.
Yeah.
Out of cheats, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he said, "Yeah, and I pay taxes and everything." So and he was actually just like you, 21. He was still in school. He wasn't even working, and that's complete. So yeah, because if you pay for cheats, you're just selling money. But some people also will, I guess, rent their cheats. And if you do you know the prices for this? I think it's like 50 a month or even 100 a month for cheats. That's a lot.
It can vary. So this again falls back on private and public. Private cheats, the number is wild depending on the game. Public, it does drop the price quite significantly, but it can still be.
What's the difference between the two?
So private cheats, for instance, like I said, how we do not provide our cheat to anyone that we don't trust.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who privately develop cheats who use the same method. However, they will provide the cheat to people that they don't know for the right price tag and level of security. So there are developers who will, for a private EFT cheat, charge, say, €300 for
One
the
time
cheat.
or a month?
No, not one time. That'll be €300 for maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And then from that, you'll have to provide some other real life details about yourself, say like a picture of you with your driver's license and things like that.
Oh, so if you leak it, then we can fuck you up pretty much.
Yeah, we can fuck up your life. Yeah, that's the code that most of those people go by. Is, you're providing real life information. If you leak the cheat, you fuck yourself real bad.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, that's pretty again, very mafia underground and everything.
Yeah, well,
so people are willing to do that. People are willing to do that to cheat in EFT. That's
in every game. EFT is really small in comparison to
yeah, I guess it's
yeah,
just
that is, people are more than willing to do that to be able to cheat in EFT. Yeah,
I guess it's just I need to interview a player for this because I guess it doesn't apply to you, but I don't understand how you can provide someone you don't know with real life information, pay him $300 a month to cheat in a wipe-based game. I mean, yeah.
This falls on the mentality of a cheater.
Yeah, I guess.
That is, there are a whole range of reasons why people cheat. And when I mean a whole range, I mean a whole fucking range of
Why do you
reasons
cheat?
why people cheat.
Why do you cheat personally?
For a person who used to cheat, I cheat just to fuck around, really. I don't cheat because I'm shit at a game. I don't cheat because I'm not all the shit that you hear normal people say, where they'll say, "Oh, you cheat because you live in your mom's basement, sad, lonely, troll," things
that's
like
just,
that.
That's just toxicity. I know it's not that. I mean, for some maybe it is, but
I don't cheat for that reason. I cheat literally just to fuck around. I come home from work, tired, don't really want to, do anything. I just want to relax, and same as like what some people might come home, flick on a movie. I come home and inject the cheat and just sort of cruise.
Okay. So it's not even to see people angry. It's not even to like, you wouldn't even.
No, I could care less if someone gets angry or not. Really.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I don't need the satisfaction of someone being angry. It's just to sort of cruise. Work on something. I might work on a cheat. I might not work on a cheat. I might just, like, for instance, CS:GO. I cheat in that every day. Just come home and cheat with my two closest mates. We'll just fuck around, and it's more background noise while we sit and talk to each other.
Okay. So it's like playing darts in a bar, and except it's game and cheats. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you? It's a bit more personal here. Do you cheat in other aspects of your life? Like, do you cheat like at work, or do you lie to people, or?
No, not really. Not as far as I can think. Cheating in work, no. I couldn't afford to do that. No, the company that I work for does some fairly serious contracts. So if I cheat in that, it would definitely come with some serious penalties if I did that. Cheating, lying, things like that. I mean, depends. If you're talking about white lies, I mean, fuck, everyone does it.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like every aspect of my life being a lie, no, I don't do that. I don't do any of that.
Okay.
I don't have any real reason to do any of that. I make enough money from my job alone that I live comfortably and do really whatever I want. I don't have any reason to lie to people. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to find good questions that kind of follow each other, because I have good ones, but I want to keep them for later.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not interesting. Any question also? Is there a lot of change? I'm talking mostly about EFT, so I don't know if you can answer. Do you see a big difference in protection between today and last semester or last year?
Yeah, that one I can't answer, not because I don't want to, but because, as I said, I've been sort of hands off.
Okay.
On the EFT, I've been working in other areas. From what I've heard A and B talking about, it seems like things are changing, but it seems like things are pretty steady at the moment, to be honest.
Okay.
There was a point where we could do anything, and then there was a lull point where we could do fuck all, and then we went back to being able to do, a lot of things. So
And
I don't know.
would you say so you could do fuck all, okay? And then did you work to achieve to reach where you are now, or did they do something that reverted their changes or something? Like, is it your work or
that's
their
that's
job?
the problem. Wherever they fix something, they fuck something.
Yeah,
So
that's the life.
they may fix something somewhere. However, that'll cause an issue somewhere else that we can. It'll cause a compromise somewhere else that we can, really hit home on.
Okay.
So
And
there's.
follow-up question then, how do you see that? Do you have like scripts running that tests like 1,000 gates and then, oh, okay, gate 1 and 15 are open? Or do you just do manually recheck everything every patch there is?
Well, there's certain things that you look into, like obviously the game has a million different things you could call to, but there's certain aspects that you would call to. Like if you're talking about speed hack, you'll call to different movement related things, different interval, like changing certain values when it comes to how fast you can move and things like that. So you'll call to that. You're not gonna try and call to, say, health. If you're talking about making God mode sheet, you're not gonna try and call to, how many bullets are in your gun.
Yeah.
You're gonna try and call to what, percentage of health you currently have, and then you're going to look at different things. You're going to look at what sort of line of code runs when it comes to taking damage. You take damage, this line of code runs. You heal yourself, this line of code runs. And then you look for a compromise.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, you look for a compromise, and then you have God mode. You've found the compromise. This is the point where the script will execute damage, and this is the point where the script will execute healing. Now you just stop the script from executing damage. And then you get hit, but nothing happens.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, but I'm confused then. So that means that you are essentially, you're decompiling the game, you're debugging it to see what runs and what's happening, and then you're changing the client, but the damage would be, because my health and everything, that's kept on the server, no? Or is it?
Damage? No, that's not always the case. There's a lot of different aspects of games that are server side and client side.
Yeah, I guess I
health
don't have
and things like that.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, health and things like that. See, this is where you come into other things, where you come into EFTs like detections. So you got to make sure that, this is the things that they patch out. So detecting God mode, the way that we worked around that, which I can talk about this, which I have no issue talking about, is the way we worked around God mode is that if we just straight up made it so you took damage or you got shot and nothing happened, the server would pick that up 100%. However, what we did was you shoot someone or you get shot, you take the damage, but the game heals you. It runs the script that is healing instantly.
Okay, so you could technically die in one shot then?
No.
Oh.
No.
But if you take the damage...
we were able... Yeah, see, that's the thing. There's certain... it's odd if you don't know what is happening. You could take a fuckload of damage but not die because... well, actually, that's not true. You could still technically die. You are not wrong. But the amount of damage that would have to be done to you to bypass the script from running to the point where it would actually kill you is immense.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I'm
not
talking-
doable by a legit player.
Yeah, you would have to literally have everyone on a run, all pointing their gun at you, shooting you in the face with no helmet on at the same time, or dropping a grenade at your feet. You know?
And then maybe, yeah.
And then, yeah. So it's not really achievable. So
Okay. And all that is done through, because you, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have the technical skill set to really follow you deep there. But you're only touching on the client, right? You cannot affect the server. You can only talk with it.
that's not entirely true, but the majority of things are client side that we like.
Okay.
A lot of things are affected client side, ESP, chams, things like that. That's client side.
Yeah.
No, actually, yes, it is client side because we intercept calls from the server. So yeah,
Because like,
side stuff.
From my perspective, which is completely fucking blind, like the server knows how much health I have. The server knows this guy shot at me in that direction and I should take this amount of damage.
Yeah.
And I guess it would be easy to detect that, you know, this guy shot me more than my max health. Yeah. I mean, when it's blatant healing, and because I've seen clips where the guy just unloads like a full clip, and at some point you gotta detect, I mean, something.
Well, that's the thing. You just gotta look for what the detection is. You gotta look for what the server considers too much.
Yeah.
And it is a lot. It is more. It is less. It is more than what you would think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It is a lot more than what you would think.
Okay.
And
so,
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, okay. And I guess this, in terms of protection, if it doesn't look for God mode, then it's not going to catch you. Also.
Yeah, you see, because like I said, we're not making the health not take damage. We're using their own system, but we're just using it in different areas. So you know, you take damage, but technically you're healing. You know?
Yeah, and this has been patched, right? This is not working anymore, or is it still?
I don't believe you can still do it. There was a point where you could. I don't know if you still can. Might not be able to. I'm not too sure. Couldn't answer that one.
Now it's right, bragging time for you. What can you do in EFT specifically? Because this is mostly made for the EFT community. What can you do as a cheater in EFT? Like what? Because I think I've seen clips with people with boss pockets, like 2 slot pockets, and that was surprising to me. But what else can you do in the game? Like any cheats that's ever worked? If you know, if you don't know, it's fine.
Currently, couldn't tell you.
And any time in the past.
Like, if we're talking about things that have in the past, yeah, we could fly. We could teleport the entire server's worth of inventory to you,
including the pouch.
Everything. No. Sorry, not inventory as in player inventory. That's a different call. We could teleport every item on the server to you.
Oh, like loose loot.
Yeah, anything that's on the ground. Yeah, it would be in a massive fucking line in front of you, and you just walk through. You just walk along that line, and any item you see that you want, you take.
That's hilarious. And I guess you would take everything and just leave.
Well, yes. The thing with that one is the interesting thing was it's not actually directly taking all the items, so it's not taking them to the point where any other player wouldn't be able to find that item. Every item is still where the server registers it as. But
so you see them disappear.
Side, yeah, it doesn't disappear for them. On the client side, it spawns every server item in a long line in front of you. I know this method doesn't work anymore. However, it used to be a thing that we could do where we would spawn every item in front of you, and that's in the map currently, and you could just walk down that line, take what you want, and then fuck off.
That's funny. And so if someone else takes the, I'm going to call it the real version of that item somewhere else, then you can't take it anymore? Or is it duplicated?
No, technically, yes. No, we couldn't take it anymore.
Okay.
But the thing is, we could do it the second we get into the map.
Yeah, so yeah, nobody would beat you to it.
Yeah, it would be physically impossible for someone to beat us to it.
Any other funny hacks you have done?
Speed
Tarkov?
hacking is hilarious. Um, speed hacking's hilarious. Changing how fast you can shoot. We had the fuck is it called? The big long green sniper.
The SV98? Oh
Yes,
no, the DVL or the
SV9.
DVL.
No, the SV98.
Yeah.
The SV98, we could shoot that at the speed of like a AK. And that was hilarious. Shooting that fast was funny. It was just so funny to shoot a rifle.
And did you keep 10 like a clip size of 10, or did you increase the clip size, the magazine size? Sorry.
No, we kept it at 10. That's why it made it so funny, because we would run into someone and dump 10 rounds instantly and be like, fuck, and we have to reload. And then dump 10 rounds, fuck, reload, dump 10 rounds, And, if you miss them, then fuck.
But do you really miss him? Do you really miss him? Because I guess
if we're not using it, we're not going harder, like full, hard rage every single time. I mean, obviously, what we're talking about is us shooting impossibly fast, so it is still rage, but we're not aimbotting every single person. Like, we'll like to, like I said, we all like to fuck around and do different things.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah, we'll be doing different things. We might not be using aimbot; we're just using speed hack. And you just run up on someone and try to shoot them, and you dump a mag of 50 rounds in 2 seconds. So
yeah,
we'll mess around in that way.
So okay. So back to Tarkov. I know it's not your main gig right now, but hopefully you can answer a few of these. Mm-hmm. What can I do as a legit player to protect myself against a cheater, do you think? Maybe the answer is nothing.
The answer is nothing.
Yeah, because I've tried wiggling it. Like, sometimes when I think there's a cheater, I've tried wiggling, but that didn't work.
Yeah, no, there's nothing that you can do to stop a cheater. I mean, at the end of the day, if a cheater's aiming to kill you, you're going to die. You can maybe get lucky and kill one, like, shoot.
Yeah.
Definitely try to shoot him. If you do hit him and kill him, then yeah, good on you. But at the end of the day,
it's not a fair game.
There's nothing that you can do. That's why cheating is a thing.
Yeah, I was expecting an answer like this one, but I was hoping for they never go on customs. But yeah, no, doesn't exist. About BattleEye, how effective do you think it is? I don't know if you can elaborate a bit on that, what they're doing or not doing, what they could do better, or I don't know, anything you can say about it.
BattleEye is it's pretty good. They do all right. Yeah, it's not the worst. Definitely not the best, but it's definitely not the worst.
What's the best one?
For the most? Well, I mean, fuck Valorant, I guess. Their Vanguard is so far.
But you still beat it in 1 day. In 1 week, sorry.
It's still the very best that there is at the moment. You see, the less public you see the cheats, the better the anti-cheat. So, BattleEye, you don't see too many cheats really offering, or you don't see too many developers offering cheats for BattleEye games publicly, because it isn't the easiest thing to bypass. So most of them don't really want their method released to the public.
Okay. What's your experience with BSG and maybe Nikita? Do they know you? Do you guys talk together sometimes, or is it just?
No, we don't directly talk to them, but Nikita does know our group by name. Okay,
but yeah, it's just is your, quote unquote enemy, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we're enemy. I wouldn't say enemy number one, but we're definitely pretty fucking high up on that list. To the point where that if you were to put our tag that we initially had in your name, you would be banned.
Oh, okay. If I put okay. Oh, that's impressive, man. I guess it's an achievement on its
Yeah.
own.
Those are small things. Like fuck, I've done things that have had effects on a much larger scale,
All
but
right.
not for EFT though.
So they know you. You kind of know them. Would you go and help them, or any others, not specifically PSG? Would you help them because you have knowledge, like you have years of experience, and you know the stuff because you broke through it.
Yeah.
Would you help them? Improve it.
No.
Why not?
As I said earlier, there's nothing that we, even as cheaters, could do to assist them because we patch one hole. You every game or every anti-cheat is pretty much just a bucket with a million pinholes in it. There's no way that you can really stop it from leaking until you completely seal the entire bucket.
Yeah.
So like we could stop certain things for sure. For sure, we could stop things, different aspects of cheating. We could stop 100%, but we would never be able to plug it up entirely unless, like I said, you make a game that's impenetrable, but it costs accuracy, and you start banning legitimate players, and you lose player base. The game dies.
You don't want to do that. Because in the end, I'm assuming you don't want to ruin the communities behind the games you play. I guess you're not trying to break BSG or any other game you play. It's not your goal.
No,
right?
no, we don't. We're not actively seeking the downfall of the game. Because if the game ends, then well, fuck, we move on to the next thing. It's not. We lose
fun.
that bit of fun that we could have had.
But then
poking fun at Nikita and having Twitch streamers on stream send a message to fucking Nikita saying, "Oh, this name, this group, this did this to me," and then getting banned. To us, that's funny. That's funny that we can have such an impact.
Yeah.
And if we were to fuck the game so hard that they can't recover, then well.
Okay.
Why? What's the point? It's just a waste.
So really, you're poking but not attacking.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to phrase the previous question differently, just to make sure it's the same answer. If EFT was willing to pay you whatever you're earning now to help them fix the game, would you do it? Even though it's not possible to 100% fix it, but would you trade your current business with another business for the same revenue, but just to help the game be better in terms of, Okay.
I probably wouldn't. I mean, I don't. For the same reason that I'm not advertising, like I'm not telling you the name of our website or anything like that. I'm not doing this for any sort of, monetary gain. This is something that we do as, fun. We're friends. We fuck around. We like to, develop cheats and do these things. If I were to suddenly turn around and show them all like what we do, then well, the ultimate fucking method that we have is suddenly patched, and we can't, just cheat. We can't just fuck around and have fun as friends. I'd much rather just play with my friends than get paid the same amount of money that we're getting paid to.
Yeah, or even I guess even double. You'd probably say no. Then if you prefer the fame and the feeling of the game, then no money can match that, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like to be able to, in a way, flex on other developers because they don't have our method, and to be able to, kill people like streamers and things like that and watch them rage on stream, and it'd be funny and we laugh and joke about it. And
so it's really ego then. It's really ego based, all that. It's really about I beat you to that.
When it comes to other cheaters, yes, it is.
Okay.
In a small way, yes, it is ego based. I won't say that's not true. It is in a way ego based. when we're going up. If it's not a developer that we're like directly friends with, then it is ego based. Yes, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's with any business, any form of business. You can't
No, that's true.
pin
Yeah, I
that
guess.
to specifically cheaters. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a fish and chip shop next to a fish and chip shop,
Yeah,
and one's getting more customers, they're going to be going, haha, I'm getting
Yeah.
more customers.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
So yes, technically it is ego based, but not in the sense of like going to your head kind of ego. It's just sort of ego in the sense of we can laugh at them because we are doing better, or we do have something that they don't.
Yeah. Would you say the cheating community, or even devs included, like cheat developers, would you say it's toxic? As in, I mean, like
it's a very varying circle, that one. It varies from game to game, dev to dev, player to player.
Okay.
That's if we're talking EFT, I know, like us, for instance, I have never really been the kind of person that'll go in game, and if I could directly talk to them, and just staunch someone and then say some toxic shit. I've never really been that kind of person because it's whatever. But I'm also not a toxic developer in the sense that if I were to publicly sell a cheat, I wouldn't ask my players or my customers to actively maybe berate another cheat or things like that.
Okay.
Whereas there's developers that we know that are toxic, that the developer will sit back and look like fucking Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars, sitting there and then talk shit about you, and it's like, why? Like, at the end of the day, fucking, if it really came down to the crunch, at the end of the day, I could give less of a fuck about any of the stuff that we do. But it's like, sitting there flexing, or like sitting there just being toxic is pointless. Like, we're all developing, we're all working on the same thing. In my eyes, we should all come together and work on it together.
Okay. So like the big community of cheat devs, and then the community of players, and the community of this and that, and you just wish everyone was good and happy together, but it's not like that. It's never gonna be.
No, it never will be.
Yeah, even
as long as someone can make money, it will never be. No one will ever be symbiotic where they all work together.
Yeah, even without the money, man. When you look at the players on Reddit, nobody is here to help each other. It's like, fuck, if I can tell someone he's a piece of shit, I'll do it. And everyone thinks like that.
Yeah, well, 100%. And I mean, well, even with cheats, again, that, like how you said, the ego thing, our cheat works better than their cheat.
Yeah.
There you go. Immediately that opens up a whole nother field of shit talking and cancer and toxic, and
it's I guess it's sad. I mean, but it's a different story. Anyway, first of all, I really want to thank you for spending that much time, because it's pretty much 2 hours in now, and talking about your stories and stuff you've worked on, just everything. Really, thank you. It's really nice.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Like I said to you in private chats, I'm more than happy to talk about this sort of stuff, because like most people can't see. No, definitely not ego. But most people can't see both sides of the coin. So like a lot of just basic players wouldn't ever really see it from any other perspective than a cheater is just some sweaty nerd who sits in his parents' basement and does that, and they don't see the other side of the coin. They probably all think that they all do it because they can't play a game or things like that. But me, for instance, I do it just simply as something to fuck around and play with friends and things like that. Like I wouldn't trade any of that stuff for any amount of money. It's just what I find enjoying with my friends. So
yeah, and personally, I try not to judge, really. I mean, if I could, I would play against legit players only, but I really don't care if I get killed by a cheater. And I don't really think anything of anyone. It's just
Yeah.
Some people have very strong voice and a loud voice when it comes to emotions.
Yeah,
And,
well, that's true.
Yeah. And okay, well, then I think I can leave you there and thank you again. All right. I don't know what else to say except we're done
That's all good.
for today. All right.
All right.
Ciao.
No problems. All right. See you later.